Beyond the Scoreboard 2014 with hosts Mark Smothers and Robin Netherton. Brought to you by Country Financial, a Lee Powell agency for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind. Now get ready for more Coleman area football. Beyond the Scoreboard.
Welcome to another segment of Beyond the Scoreboard. Week 6. We're already halfway through this season.
Week 7 for some teams. If they played early, if they played a real game like Coleman did that first week, then it's Week 7.
It's Week 6 for us, though.
Right, Week 6 for us. That's right.
6 times we've been here.
That's right.
Of course, those that hadn't been here 1 or 2 weeks, just Week 5.
That's right, but they're missing out anyway. So.
Yeah, okay. All right. Country Financial is one of our big backers, the Lee Powell Agency. We appreciate them helping sponsor us. And Wallace State Community College, I'd like to mention them both. And I had a pretty good meal tonight. I had a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
On the way, I swing in and talked to Caleb and got us some Chick-fil-A tonight, and outstanding. I go by there at least twice a week. Carry my little boy. We play in the tunnels and eat a good meal, and you can't beat Chick-fil-A.
Well, we appreciate their stuffing us. And no bull. It's all chicken.
That's right, all chicken.
Okay. We'd like to invite you to tune in to Beyond the Scoreboard at some other times in the morning. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. we'll be on. Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And then Friday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. getting ready for our 10:30 show. Which is live. Right. So appreciate y'all joining us, and we'll be right back after this message.
Beyond the Scoreboard, brought to you by Country Financial, the Lee Powell agency for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
A restaurant with a view. A game day bus. A kingdom for pretty princesses. Your local Country Financial representative knows that your car is much more than just a car to you. And since they know you so well, you can be sure they'll guide you to just the right coverage and available discounts to keep your car and everything else that depends on it well protected. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Country Financial, the Lee Powell agency for all your insurance needs. Call 256-734-3348.
Delicious stud, hun.
Eat up. There's plenty more.
Billy, eat your stud. Think of the termites whose homes were protected with Termidor.
Aw, Dad. The Browns will never get Termidor. They're clueless.
Yeah, they even think homeowners insurance covers our damage.
Do you hear laughing?
It's probably just the pipes.
Target Pest Control. We aim to please.
One of these could be the most dangerous tools you can own. Because if you're careless, even for a minute, this can come into contact with those. Then it's lights out. At our Touchstone Energy Cooperative, nothing is more important than the safety of our members. We can't do it all. The best way to be safe around outdoor power lines, just don't touch them. Ever. The first rule of every do-it-yourselfer should be do it safely.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Wallace State offers associate degree and certificate programs in Alabama's hottest job fields. Every year this decade, almost 3,800 new workers will enter these fields. Will you be one of them? Be one of us. Get in a Wallace state of mind. Almost $39,000. That's the mean annual wage for Alabamians trained as machinists and in computer-controlled machine operation. Wallace State has machining programs to fit your career ambitions. Be one of us and get in a Wallace state of mind.
Beyond the Scoreboard, brought to you by Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
Well, welcome back to Team of the Week, and we've got a couple of little segments here that we want to present. First of all, this week's Team of the Week, the Coleman Bearcats.
Coleman Bearcats, big win tonight. The Coleman played Athens and got a win at home, 28-7, and that puts them 4-2 for the season and 2-1 in the region. And some interesting stuff about Coleman. Coleman's been playing football for 100 seasons.
Almost as many years as I've been around.
Yeah, right. They started playing football in 1915, and 100 seasons this season. The winning percentage is 60.1, and their overall record is 545 wins, 362 losses, and 31 ties. Coleman Bearcats.
And the present coach, Coach Britton's got over 100 of those wins.
Really? That's right. Yeah, I saw that. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. We got a little footage here, the presentation of the Team of the Week trophy to the Coleman Bearcats.
Each week, Coleman Electric Cooperative and TV 27 recognize one of our area schools as our Team of the Week. We're here with Coleman High School this week. Coach Britton, you took your team a long way last week to face a tough opponent and managed to come back home with a hard-fought victory. So in recognition of your win over Fayette County, we're naming the Coleman Bearcats our Team of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right, some of the extremely important ball games tonight. One of them was played over in Addison.
Yeah, another good ball game in Addison. That's all they've had this season. It's just hard, good-fought ball games.
Well, it was one of those region contests. It sort of has a whole lot to do with who's going to be in the playoffs.
Right. And they put themselves in the driver's seat tonight.
Yes, they did. Congratulations. As a matter of fact, we have Coach Smothers, David Smothers, on the phone with us. Big win tonight, Coach.
Thank you. We're really excited to get that one under our belt. We were real nervous about that one.
The battle of the blue and the golds. Well, blue and yellow, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, we were able to get over there and see a good bit of it, the first quarter action anyway. And, the first quarter going into the second quarter, just a very physical ball game where both teams were getting after each other.
Yeah. And that's what we told the kids all week, that, Coach Plains got Coach Elliott doing a great job with them. He got them and they're planning on coming to Addison and out hitting Addison, and we ain't going to let that happen.
Yeah.
We kicked it all week, and I was really pleased. Our defense just played outstanding and got after the football really well.
I thought your defense did do an outstanding job. Here's a couple of footage of your offense. Hunter Ray was your quarterback, made a good run there, and then Colby Kirk had a good run there. And, first half, Colby had a big run that sort of set the tone for the first half, didn't he?
He did. He busted a good little run off there, maybe about a 47 yards, something like that. It was a big play for him.
It was, but there was a huge hole up the middle. Who are some of those linemen up front that made that seam there for him to get through?
That offensive line done a fine job for us tonight. It was center Ronnie Willett, got Peyton Thompson and Jacob Romine on my guards. You got Matthew Mann and Ryan Walters as tackles, and Levi Hammock, we moved him to tight end this week, and he done a great job there.
Number 13 had a good catch. Who was that athlete? Logan Nixon. That was a great catch on the sideline.
That's his first catch on the season.
That's great.
Okay.
But yeah, he had a big. I thought he was going to get the end zone on that one.
Right.
And you had several short yardage situations. Kyle Denson made some big, tough physical runs for you.
He did, but again, when you watch this film, man, he's got holes to run through it. He understands
there it is.
the game so well. He's been running it a while, and he sees it. He runs hard.
All right, we're looking right now at
we just saw one of them holes, and I believe I could have ran through it. It was pretty big.
Colby Kirk was on that one, and now kicking an extra point.
You guys really put a complete game together, it looks like.
We did. Both of us just pretty much run the football, and the game goes by a lot faster when you do that.
Well, one of the things that was really making it interesting, they had a couple of big play-action passes middle of the second quarter that it's able to carry it down and get a touchdown on. And, you know, I'm not really sure because we had to be leaving to get back up here, but they had it like 3rd and goal on inside your 10, and I'm not really sure what happened there. Was there a pass interference call? Or?
No, there was I think that on that drive that there was a pass interference call, but they first busted a long one on us on we had a line wrong in the secondary, and they flipped the tight end right. He's wide open. Fortunately for us, he didn't score. But they had an inverted whistle. It was 4th and goal from the 6, and they had an inverted whistle, and we held them out, but they got to replay the down, and they ended up throwing a fade on us and scored the next down.
Okay, well, I thought their quarterback, that's Caden Elliott. He is the coach's son, Coach Elliott's son, but he made a couple of really good throws, left-handed, but it makes it sort of look a little odd, but he had a couple of really good throws there in the second quarter. And in the second half, y'all must have shut them down pretty well.
We did. They continued throwing at that big tall kid, and he was not able to make plays on it. Fortunate for us, we've got to work our secondary we're in position to make plays, we're just not making the play. And I think it's more confidence than anything. So, but yeah, Elliott kid, he's going to be a good ball player. I believe his name's Caden.
Caden, yeah, he's a 10th grader.
And he's going to be a good ball player.
Well, Coach, next week you got Summerton Christian, and they got a win tonight over Falkville, 35-26, and they're 2-2 in the region. But I think you guys are in the driver's seat right now, so good luck next week against Summerton Christian.
All right, man, we appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, appreciate you talking to us. All right, that was Coach Smothers from Madison. They had a huge win tonight over Cold Springs, but, you know, going back to Cold Springs, it was a huge loss for them.
Yes.
But both teams played really hard, and it was a hard-fought contest, and, you know, it's a shame somebody has to lose.
That puts Cold Springs at 5-2, and that's, you know, great start for any team. And, you know, and Addison traditionally is a powerful team, and I think if you look at that matchup, I think the overall record of it is Addison 26, Cold Springs 2. Something like that.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, that's nothing to be ashamed of. That's a good ball game.
All right, we've got several scores that were important for tonight, especially the area scores. So, if you would.
So Addison had Cold Springs, and the final was 30 Addison and Cold Springs 7. Summerton Christian beat Falkville 35-26. Tanner.
That was a little surprising.
That was surprising. It puts, like I say, Summerton Christian's 2-4, so that's 2 wins in a row for them.
But Falkville has yet to win in the region, have they?
Falkville goes to 0-3 region play.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
3-3 for the season, though, and you know records can be deceiving when you play non-region opponents.
Yeah. The
big. I don't know if it was a shocker to you, but I guess it's just shocking that somebody could score 110 points. Tanner scored 77. Tarrant 33.
77-33.
110 points in a ball game.
Well,
17 touchdowns, something like that.
Tanner's liable to score anytime they touch football.
That's right. They're incredible.
Yes, they have a tremendous some athletes that can make things, a lot of speed. And Tarrant, they were sort of the unknown team,
right?
Because they really haven't played anybody from up in here. They played a couple of pretty good teams.
Right.
I think one of their losses was to Ramsey, who was undefeated until last night.
Right.
They lost the first game they'd lost to Parker, I believe, and I think Parker's still undefeated.
They're playing a lot of big teams, and like they didn't fare well against Tanner, but who knows? Well, you know, Addison still got to play them, Cold Springs still got to play them, Falkville still got to play them. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
All right.
Some other local teams. Vinemont played Oakman tonight. Oakman got the better half of that game, 61-13 over Vinemont.
That was a disappointing,
very
surprise
disappointing, and Vinemont's still not healthy. I think they got a lot of, they're bummed up, and you know they got a lot of great young kids out, but you know they've got the injury bug. Susan Moore got a big win over. Susan Moore got beat by Cleveland tonight, 49-35. Hansville drops another one to Winfield, 43-14. Winston County, you know Holly Pond led a lot of that game, most of the game. But it comes out Winston County on top, 35-27 over Holly Pond.
And, you know, I think Hansville and Winston County were really close, and then Winston County exploded at the end to make a big difference in that game.
I think Holly Pond was up by 2 touchdowns at one point, but then Winston County came back, and I've heard they're a very big team, a lot of size. So in 4A, Region 7, Locust Fork beat Good Hope 49-13. North Jackson knocks off Pennington 69-28. Aniana 47, Priceville 15, Westminster Christian 45 over DAR 27.
A lot of points in that region, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's a
big difference in the scores. So
there is.
That must have been the ones that won. Probably those may be the 4 that's in the playoffs.
That's right. And when you look at the regions, 3-1, 3-1, 4-0. That's exactly right.
Yep.
You know.
Okay.
5A Region 7. Boaz knocks off Douglas 2014. Gunnersville knocks off Etowah 7-6. Madison County 35 over Fairview 14. Randolph beats Butler 65-34. And then 5A Region 8, Ardmore 41.
You know Butler used to be the biggest school in the state.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And now they're in 5A.
And now they're 5A, but you know
which is equivalent to
they've
what used to be
opened
4A.
about 5 new schools in the Huntsville area. So
gotcha.
Now I'm talking about when I was a boy.
Right.
Back in the 60s and 70s, they were the biggest school in the state. Yep.
Wow. And I think
had
Bob
30-something,
Jones,
a little over 3,000 students. Now what?
Bob Jones was last year, wasn't it?
Bob Jones has been. I think one of the Montgomery schools may have passed them, but they're in the top 2 or 3.
5A Region 8, Ardmore 41, Pope John Paul 21. East Limestone beats Russellville 21-14, kind of a shocker there.
East Limestone's undefeated.
They're undefeated, but traditionally, Russellville's a lot better.
Yeah,
When you look at it over time, the J.O. Johnson plays West Point. West Point was undefeated. They were the last undefeated team in our region, and unfortunately, they fell tonight to J.O. Johnson. Now, at halftime, that game, it was 6-2. West Point started off the game with a safety. J.O. Johnson gets a long run, so they go into halftime 6-2, and then J.O. Johnson ends up winning the game 40-10 over West Point.
All right, we're looking at some footage of the Vinemont ball game, and you see right here it just didn't go their way. You noticed an incomplete pass there that he was trying to score before he caught it.
Right. Like if they had John Michael Dye started out the season with a lot of rushing yards. You know, he was knocking off 200-300 a game, and he's really been bit with the injury bug lately. I think he had a groin injury, and that's really hurt their end. Bo Wright had a concussion last week. I think one of their leading seniors on defense, Trey Guthrie, had a groin pull last week. And then they've had some linemen get injured. And tonight, unfortunately, I think Kyle Weems, great kid, was injured. And so, you know, we'll all say a prayer for Mr. Weems. And he was a big part of that offensive line. And that line has really opened up some holes this season. But I think the injury bug's really built Valmont lately.
Yeah, I think you can just notice right there, and this was the problem pretty much they had all night, is Oakman had some speed and size up front and was able to put pressure on the quarterback. He really didn't have time to do anything. So that was the quarterback, Bowling kid, who's a 10th grader.
Great tackle there by him. And, you know, playing quarterback, playing safety, he's all over the field. He's going to be a really good football player. This team's got a lot of guys that are good football players, but you know you gotta stay healthy, and that's been their problem as of late. And this Oakman team, one of the best coached teams. I mean, they were very precise. They did the little things right, and they came out with a win tonight.
Okay, and here you see them sort of taking it to us right there. But if you would go ahead and finish some of those scores.
6A Region 8. This is the region that Coleman's in. Coleman beats Athens tonight, 28-7. That puts them at 4-2 and 2-1 in the region. Florence beats Austin 28-23, and that was in question all the way to the very end. Muscle Shoals beats Hartselle 36-28. And then 6A Region 7, our last region.
A lot of tears in Coleman from Hartselle losing.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
6A Region 7, Arabs, our local team in Brewer. Arab beats Brewer 34-21. Fort Payne beats Lee 28-7. And Southside Gadsden gets a win over Albertville 31-17.
Okay. All right, this time of the night we usually do a little bit of music. So this time we have our band of the week, which is the Holly Pond Bronco Marching Band. So we'll have a little footage of Holly Pond Marching Band coming up right here.
Holly Pond, you may take the field.
by Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
A restaurant with a view. A game day bus. A kingdom for pretty princesses. Your local Country Financial representative knows that your car is much more than just a car to you. And since they know you so well, you can be sure they'll guide you to just the right coverage and available discounts to keep your car and everything else that depends on it well protected. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs. Call 256-734-3348. From the Heart, monogramming and gifts. Find the right gift for any occasion. Designer jewelry, bags, clothes, and much more. Stop by today and ask about our monogramming and custom printing services. The best gifts come from the heart.
It's true. The only time we think about electricity is when the power goes out. Then every minute seems like an eternity. Luckily, as a member of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, the people working on our behalf have the training, high-tech resources, and motivation to restore power as quickly and as safely as humanly possible. See what I mean? When it comes to electricity, you know you have an outstanding team working for you when you hardly notice them at all.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Wallace State offers associate degree and certificate programs in Alabama's hottest job fields. Every year this decade, almost 3,800 new workers will enter these fields. Will you be one of them? Be one of us. Get in a Wallace state of mind. That's how many registered nurses the national job market will need in this decade. Will you be one of them? Across the country, that's the median annual pay for RNs. Be one of us and get in a Wallace state of mind.
Beyond the Scoreboard, brought to you by Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
Well, welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. We've got a little bit of footage here of some more games that we had. Big games tonight. Coleman had a big win tonight.
That region is topsy-turvy, and Coleman plays Athens tonight. And I think you were there second half. Is that right?
I got there at halftime.
In the first half, I heard there were some key turnovers that really got Coleman sparked and really got them rocking and rolling. And I'm going to try to get Coach Britton on the phone while we're watching some footage and go over some things. You can see here that opening kickoff was kind of mishandled.
Yeah, we had they had a fast start here. And here's Bronte Harris coming up making a big play on the corner. And here, you know, Athens is moving the ball down, and they get down to around the Coleman 20. And here's a big run by Athens getting them down there. And then after they got down there, Coleman did a fantastic job of coming up and stopping them.
Hey, Coach Rick, this is Coach Nathan, Coach Smothers from Beyond the Scoreboard. Is it okay if we talk to you for a minute? All right. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I didn't get you all early.
No problem. Hey, great win tonight against Athens. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big play by Bronte Harris right there when they opening drive of the second half. They carried it down, and then on a fourth down, he made a big stop, broke up a pass play right there. Good play by him.
Right.
And just before that, on second and third down, I thought Purefoy Blake made two great inside stops of the running game.
He sure did. I was real proud of our kids. I thought the defense did a super job. Offense came out in first quarter, and 3 straight scoring drives right there. Just really did a good job.
Well, your quarterback played well while I was there. I thought he made a couple of incomplete throws that were not thrown to Athens. I mean, they had good coverage, and he just got rid of it, threw the ball away, and saved you a little bit there. But I thought Athens, they're pretty quick.
Yeah, and Ross was such a competitor. I think he was trying to do too much maybe at the first part, and he's comfortable getting us out of a bad play, and we can just kind of reload it and try to catch him on the next down. And he's really gotten a lot more comfortable in our offense, and a few times tonight scrambled. Just let his athletic ability kind of take over, and he's made a few big plays with his legs, finding some time, and then had some accurate throws. Seth Donaldson had a lot of catches tonight. I think he had 130 or so yards reception, and just did a good job.
Now, was he number 20?
He's number 8. That was Mason Goodwin, number 20. Mason had a good night also. My 2 senior receivers had a great night.
Right. And number 13 looked like he ran the ball well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I thought number 7, Patterson, he had several, I thought, dominating plays over on the defensive side of the football. And
really did.
Not only making tackles on his side of the line of scrimmage, but also across the field on the other side.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you, he just did a good job. Bronte's kind of a shut-down corner, and they had 2 excellent receivers, and their lone score tonight, they hit a long pass on us, and that was kind of what we were worried about all week is those guys getting vertical on us, and they just did a super job tonight, our kids.
Well, your region just seems to be just really Decatur. I think did Decatur win again tonight?
Yeah, Decatur and Florence are you both tied for first, and you guys and Muscle Shoals are tied for second right now. I think the Decatur and Florence ain't lost one in the region yet, and then you guys and Muscle Shoals have both won 2. So it looks like you guys control your own destiny.
Well, you feel like that, and you look, and if you try to look too far ahead in our region, you'll get burnt. We've got to go to Hartselle.
That's right.
We still have to play Muscle Shoals. We still, have some tough ball games. Decatur, and those guys are all just outstanding. We can't look too far ahead. We got to go to Hartselle. I don't think we've beat Hartselle in Hartselle since '95. So it's a tremendous challenge next week.
All right, next week at Hartselle, and Hartselle and Muscle Shoals had just a knockdown drag out tonight, and Muscle Shoals was able to escape with a victory,
36-28.
I think
overtime or 3 overtimes, something like that.
Yeah, well, I think it was 2 overtimes. Yep.
So both of those, you've got both of those to play, so that's going to be pretty much equal competition. You just don't know which one's going to be the better. And then Decatur seems to be a little bit ahead of. I think did they beat Hartselle by 3? Was it like 20-17?
Right.
So those 3, all of them are going to be pretty close to the same ability levels, challenges for you. So I hope y'all stay healthy
in our region.
Yes.
Just tremendous players, and the other thing, you've got coaching staffs that are veteran in our region, and
yes,
I mean, that makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference
and things like that.
Yes, because the kids know what's expected, and the coaches know what the kids can do as well. So being in that,
and they've got them prepared every week.
Yeah, and they've been in that same system for a while, and it's a little bit easier for them to understand what they're supposed to be doing. So, it is.
Right.
It's. I don't know of a tougher region in any classification. Just top to bottom. So
Austin was having a rough go of it, and they get out of region play week 5, and they go up to Decatur, to Huntsville, 7A Huntsville, and they beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And
like you said, coaching in your region.
We have a tremendous region, and.
Well, now Austin, did they play Florence tonight?
It was at Florence, yes.
And Florence, they didn't drill them. They did beat them. How much?
28-23.
28-23.
Right.
So and right now Austin is they haven't won in that region. So,
that's right.
But they've got a good team. So,
look at their scores. They lose by 5 tonight.
Right.
Yep.
They've lost to Spain Park 5-3. They lost to somebody else 28-26. I guess.
Tough year.
I'm trying to think what our score was right now, but I think it's like a touchdown.
I think it was.
They've been in just about every game, and they've lost close. First 5 games, they were all close games that they lost.
How's your health?
Disheartening.
Actually, how's your team's health?
We are we're banged up a little bit. It was a physical game. Number 15, their safety, just as good a safety as we've played in high school football. I mean, he is laying the lumber to some of my running backs and receivers. But, not dirty. I'm not saying dirty.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about physical. Just an outstanding young man. He's going to Southern Miss. Just a great player. So we're banged up a little bit, but I don't think it's anything to keep anybody out of the game. We're just going to have to, get some ice and check these guys out, have a good week of preparation before we play Hartsville.
Well, I noticed that Crenshaw, your running back, seemed to be favoring an ankle a little bit. And, I talked with your trainer, and he said, he'd been about 4 weeks. He'd just toughened it out.
He did. He got hit one of the plays tonight around the right side. Number 16 just kind of laid out and kind of clipped him on that ankle, and he was hobbled up a little bit the rest of the night. But Will's a tough little old nut. He's gonna give you all he's got, and pound for pound, probably one of the strongest kids I've got on the team. And so we'll just get him nursed back up for next Friday night, and we expect him to play.
All right, and you play at Hartsville next Friday?
At Hartsville.
Yes, sir.
All right, we appreciate you being with us.
Good
Congratulations on a big win, and good luck to you next week and the rest of the season.
Thank you so much, man. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. All right, we got another segment coming up here that is one of our favorites. We've got some church sponsors that help bring us the FCA Student of the Week, Athlete of the Week. Coleman First Baptist, Hansville First Baptist, Bethlehem Missionary Baptist, and St. John's Evangelical Church all team together and help support us in this. And so anyway, our FCA Student of the Week this week is Mason Goodwin, who we talked about just now, one of the receivers, senior receiver from Coleman High School.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. It's our Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Athlete of the Week segment. And we've got Mason Goodwin, wide receiver, senior for the Coleman Bearcats with us. And first off, I want to welcome you. Sir. And congratulations, and how much we appreciate you representing your Christian faith out there at Coleman High School. It's fantastic. So first off, talk about your personal relationship with Christ and how it has impacted your life.
Yes, sir. Obviously, I got to thank my dad and grandpa. They always held me accountable, expected higher me than other kids. And anytime I get out of place, they'd put me right back. And it's been awesome, them placing me in church at a young age and just showed me the way all the way up through my life so far.
Well, Christian love can be tough sometimes.
Oh, yes, sir.
Sometimes they've probably given you what I call tough love. But it's really had some great results.
Yes,
I can
sir.
see that. All right, hey, this is what I want to. You're a wide receiver, and everybody knows that the trashiest talkers on the football field are the cornerbacks.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to get up there in your face about 3 feet from you, and they're going to just challenge you every way possible. Okay, how do you bring your Christian witness into that situation? It's not just physical, it's verbal.
Yes, sir.
How do you do that?
Obviously you want to play your game between the whistles. You don't want to do any of that stuff other. And being a Christian, you learn how to control your anger, and football allows you to get it all out legally. So it's a great opportunity.
Right. That's good.
Yes, sir.
And how about out in school and in the halls and between classes and on weekends? And how does your Christian, how do you feel like Christ leads you in those areas?
First thing, you got to surround yourself with people with the same goal as you, a goal to succeed. And you got to hold yourself to a higher standard and just always expect better of yourself than, people putting people down or telling them they can't do something.
Yeah. What you going to do when you get out of school?
I was lucky enough to get a baseball scholarship to Wall State, so I'd like to pursue that as far as I can and then hopefully become a principal.
Be a principal, all right, man. Well, you better get ready because you're going to need all that Christianity.
Yes, sir.
No, man, there's great kids out there.
Yes,
You'll be a great one, man.
Yes, sir.
Mason.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for being on the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
It's really an honor.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back with more Beyond the Scoreboard after these messages.
Beyond the Scoreboard, brought to you by Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs. And Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
A restaurant with a view. A game day bus. A kingdom for pretty princesses. Your local Country Financial representative knows that your car is much more than just a car to you. And since they know you so well, you can be sure they'll guide you to just the right coverage and available discounts to keep your car and everything else that depends on it well protected. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs. Call 256-734-3348.
Delicious stud, hon.
Eat up. There's plenty more.
Billy, eat your stud. Think of the termites whose homes were protected with Termidor.
Aw, Dad. The Browns will never get Termidor. They're clueless.
Yeah, they even think homeowners insurance covers our damage.
Do you hear laughing?
It's probably just the pipes.
Target Pest Control. We aim to please.
Wallace State offers associate degree and certificate programs in Alabama's hottest job fields. Every year this decade, almost 3,800 new workers will enter these fields. Will you be one of them? Be one of us. Get in a Wallace state of mind. That's the projected number of job openings for trained welders this decade. That's the potential salary for welders trained the Wallace State way with the latest robotic technology for manufacturing. Who will you be? Be one of us and get in a Wallace state of mind.
Beyond the Scoreboard, brought to you by Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard, and we'd once again like to thank our sponsors, Lee Powell and Country Financial, for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College, our local university or college that really provides our students in Coleman County with a valuable asset to be able to get a quality education close to home at a reasonable price.
And some of them get to continue their athletic endeavors.
That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Next thing, we're going to show you some footage of the West Point game. I had the privilege to go watch West Point and J.O. Johnson play, and outstanding first half. J.O. Johnson had a lot of speed, a lot of talent on the field, and just a good football team. West Point came out 5-0. Started the game really strong, started the game with a good defensive stand, then a safety. And special team play was great for West Point. They went into halftime in this game, actually 6-2. And J.O. Johnson came out of the second half and had a lot of quick, long scores. And unfortunately, West Point had their first loss tonight. But that's the nature of play. And here you're seeing the safety right now, and like West Point had some really good special teams play. They have a lot of good players. Farley, the quarterback, was really hard to tackle, hard to get down. They had a great hook and lateral. Number 28 over on the sideline, number 28 caught the ball, lateraled it to number 3. Just a good team. I noticed their punter, number 8, had a great night on special teams. A lot of good punts first half. Really kept them in the game the first half. Here we see number 3 with a really good return.
I believe that's Smith, boy, isn't it?
Smith, that's right, yeah. So I'm going to go over some region standings at this point, or some scores of just our local area teams that you might have missed on the first go-round. Addison got the win tonight, 30-7 over Cold Springs, and that's Cold Springs' second loss for the season.
Farley made a great run right there.
Farley had, he with some midlines and stuff right from me. He was really hard to tackle. Number 3 had some really good runs too. Those guys really run hard. And the West Point line, they opened some good holes the first half. Wasn't there for the second half, so I'm not sure exactly how everything went down that second half. But I did see a lot of speed from J.O. Johnson. They had a lot of plays called back in the first half, probably 3 long runs called back for holding.
you know what, I was going to point that out on the first play I saw. They had about a 10-yard gain, but they got on the corner because the tackle just had a hold of West Point's defensive end. I reckon that's what people teach now.
And you and I both know holding goes on just about every play in football, but you know, they when it's only called on the big plays, it really hurts you.
Yeah.
So, and you know, we get to see some of that tonight. And but it was a good ball game all the way around.
Good gang tackling right there.
Some other scores, something to Christian. We got Falkville tonight, 35-26. Oakman beats Vinemont 61-13. Winfield beats Hansville 43-14. Winston County over Holly Pond 35-27. Locust Fork knocks off Good Hope 49-13.
Now, let's go back and talk about just a little bit. Holly Pond almost picked up their first win tonight.
And me and you were talking last week, and Holly Pond's got some great kids out there, some big kids, and you know, they just got to put a complete together, a game together, and they got to believe in themselves.
Yeah, I think they were up by like 2 touchdowns.
They were
at half.
right.
All right, go ahead with it.
And Winston County's a big, good team. And you know, so Holly Pond really played a great game, 35-27. They came out, unfortunately, on the losing side of that game. Locust Fork has had a great season, 5-1. They beat Good Hope tonight, 49-13. Arab came out over Brewer, 34-21. Madison County knocks off Fairview, 35-14. J.O. Johnson beats West Point 40-10. That's the game we're watching right now. And then Coleman beats Athens 28-7. And then Muscle Shoals beats Hartsville 36-28. And you said there probably ain't gonna be a whole lot of tears shed in Coleman about that.
No, I don't think. But you know, next week Coleman and Hartsville play. Big ball game up in Hartsville, and as Coach Britton's pointing out, it's been a long time since Coleman's won a game in Hartsville.
That's right. And you see a lot of big runs here from West Point. West Point's got Russellville next week, and the hard part of West Point's schedule is really coming up. But that being said, they played a lot of great football so far this season, got a lot of big wins, and they need to keep playing ball. And I think you know, this might be a banner year for West Point.
And hope this didn't hurt their confidence too much.
That's right.
They
it's
come
one
back
game
next week. Yeah, it's one game. You know, and maybe next week they'll get it back together against Russellville.
You know, and that's why we play them. A lot of people forget that nothing's decided until you play it. If you think is, you just need to rewind the Alabama-Auburn game from last year and watch it one more time.
He was talking about holding just a little bit, but tonight our unsung heroes are going to be the guys that really don't many people brag on a lot, do they?
No, they don't. I've officiated before. Have you ever officiated?
I have not. I officiated basketball, but not football.
There is I don't know if there's a. I wouldn't say that maybe it's not the hardest job you do, but maybe it's not the most appreciated.
Well,
that job, but that being said, it is a job that is necessary for our kids to be able to play the sport they love and for us to be able to coach it.
Well, our unsung heroes this week are the officials, and we're showing a little bit of footage of the officials at work. And you know, really the only thing we ever say to the officials is usually bad.
Yeah, that's about right.
You know, from the coaching standpoint, it's a little different because we do joke with them a little bit, and you know, and congratulate them on good calls. But if they ever miss one, we're quick to you know, let them know that hey, you need to check this out a little closer. But anyway, it's a tough job, and they really have to be on the alert in order to make some of the play or calls that they make in judgment. It's a critical issue.
It is. It's not an easy job, and like we want to thank our officials in Coleman County and all across the state that make the game possible for us to play.
And yes, and you know, sometimes maybe after the game we as coaches ought to go back and say, hey, look, I apologize for what I said because I know you were doing the job the way you saw it.
Sometimes you got to say some things just part of playing the game is playing the officials, though. I know.
And you know, the next week when you start looking at the film, you might say, you know, he was right.
Right.
So, but anyway, we appreciate all the officials do. Now, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with the conclusion of this week's Beyond the Scoreboard.
Beyond the Scoreboard, brought to you by Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
A restaurant with a view. A game day bus. A kingdom for pretty princesses. Your local Country Financial representative knows that your car is much more than just a car to you. And since they know you so well, you can be sure they'll guide you to just the right coverage and available discounts to keep your car and everything else that depends on it well protected. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs. Call 256-734-3348. From the Heart Monogramming and Gifts has just the gift you need for that special someone. Find a tote bag or build a bow. Peruse our selection of baby items. Or choose a nice piece of jewelry by Chameleon. And while you're here, let us take care of all your monogramming needs. From the Heart Monogramming and Gifts. The best gifts are from the heart.
When energy prices start to rise, a single electric co-op can only do so much. That's why your Touchstone Energy Cooperative taps the combined ideas and resources of co-ops locally and nationally to deliver electricity at the best price possible. And in that unity, every member gains strength. Together we can take control of the future, instead of the future taking control of us.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Wallace State offers associate degree and certificate programs in Alabama's hottest job fields. Every year this decade, almost 3,800 new workers will enter these fields. Will you be one of them? Be one of us. Get in a Wallace state of mind. Almost $39,000. That's the mean annual wage for Alabamians trained as machinists and in computer-controlled machine operation. Wallace State has machining programs to fit your career ambitions. Be one of us and get in a Wallace state of mind.
Beyond the Scoreboard, brought to you by Country Financial, the Lee Powell Agency, for all your insurance needs, and Wallace State Community College. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
Well, welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. We got a few games we want to mention about next week, and we'd like to, encourage everybody to go out and support their local teams. But there's a few really important ball games next week. What are some of those?
At this point in the season, the region is what it's all about.
Yep.
And
region play.
If you want to go watch some games that have a lot of playoff implications and teams are really going to be fighting tooth and nail, like they do every week, but these teams have an especially important meaning to them. Addison's at Summerton Christian. And for Addison has been winning, and Summerton Christian's been winning. They both won 2 games in the region, and those teams are going to be fighting Tarrant, and those teams are going to be fighting each other for home field advantage or even to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
and
this
Cold
is a big
Springs
win.
is also important, but they're off next week, aren't
That's right.
they?
They're off.
They get a
They're
little
open.
rest.
So Addison at Summerton Christian is the most important area game in that region. In Region 3A standings, we've got Beaumont at Holly Pond, and if either one of those teams wants to have a chance, they got to go now. They got to win now.
Beaumont has to win next week in order to continue to have playoff hopes.
That's right. The next region that is important is Region 5. West Point's at Russellville. 5A Region 8. West Point's at Russellville. That's Russellville's at West Point, and that's a really big game.
It is.
If West Point wants to make the playoffs, all they got to do is win 1 or 2 more. And Russellville's
if
one
they
of those
won't play at home, they need to win this one.
They need to win this one. That's right.
Yeah.
And West Point's just got to. They got a lot of talent out there and a lot of great coaches. They just got to put it together and have a good game. And then in 6A Region 8, everybody in Coleman probably already knows this one, but Coleman's at Hartselle.
Coleman's at Hartselle, big game. As a matter of fact, all of those games in that region are big.
And they are. And the Florence is playing at Athens. And then
Athens
Austin
must win or they're out.
Austin's open next week, and Decatur's at Muscle Shoals. So
Decatur Muscle Shoals. It's important for Muscle Shoals to win that one because they've already got 2 losses in the region, don't they? Okay.
And that's so uncharacteristic. It's really like Coach Britton said. That region's got great coaches. They scheme. They got great players, and whoever comes in the most prepared seems like they win. And it's been an interesting region so far.
Right. Let's skip on up a little bit and go to college ball games. Coming up tomorrow.
Tomorrow is going to be an interesting
Alabama
Saturday.
is at Ole Miss.
Roll Tide. I think Alabama's going to take care. I believe after the week Blake Sims had last week, I think he's going to throw the ball great this week. I think he's built confidence now. I think everybody's pretty clear that we have some of the best receivers in college football. I say we. I got my master's degree from the University of Alabama, and I'm working on a second one. So.
Okay. Well, I'm with you. I think Alabama I don't know that Ole Miss is as good as Florida.
Right.
Right. I'd say they're close, but I don't know. I don't know if Alabama or Ole Miss, either one, has really beaten a good football
Well, you look at
team yet.
recruiting classes, Ole Miss has not had the classes Florida's had, so you wouldn't think they're as good.
Yeah, but they do have, I think they have the #1 recruit in the nation that's still there. And what's his name? Starts with an N. Nemanchek or something like that. Nemanichi, Kimanichi, I don't know. All right, we got another ball game though. Auburn's playing LSU.
Auburn playing LSU, and I think Auburn's.
And that's in Auburn.
I don't think LSU's as good as everybody thought they were, and I think Auburn might be.
Well, one thing that scares me about LSU,
I'm saying 2 touchdowns Auburn.
Their freshman quarterback went in last week, led 7 drives, and all of them for touchdowns.
Right.
He is going to be going into this. He's going to start this week, and he's going to go in with just a load of confidence.
Right. That's right.
And his teammates are going to have a lot of confidence.
Right.
And no matter what level you're playing, confidence
is huge.
It's going to make a big difference. So I'm a little bit afraid of that. And Auburn's secondary, I'm not real sure if they're up to the task, because LSU has some physical, good receivers.
But a ball will bounce off somebody's head, and Auburn will catch it and race
always
70 yards for a
in,
touchdown.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to pick Alabama and Auburn, correct?
Yes, what I'm going to pick.
All right, Arkansas is off this week. And then we have Mississippi State is hosting Texas A&M. 2 big games in Mississippi.
Now, I picked against Texas A&M last week, and I almost got that one. Did you remember
I remember that.
But I'm and I picked Mississippi State in every game, and I like Mississippi State, but I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm going to go Texas A&M.
Well, I was very critical of Mississippi State last week.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't think they'd beaten anybody, and I didn't think they had much prayer against LSU. I'm going to say Texas A&M wins this one, though.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M.
But I think it
just
will
because
be
of what they did at the end of the game last week, they were impressive.
All right, over on the east side, we got Florida at Tennessee.
And y'all watched Tennessee last week, and they were shaky the first quarter. But after that, they looked pretty good. So
they're inconsistent right now.
Inconsistent, but Florida lost. I'm gonna go with Tennessee on this one over Florida.
I'm going with Florida.
Florida on this one.
Yeah, I think Florida's defense is pretty good.
And Tennessee,
they didn't look good against Alabama,
right.
but
their quarterback looked like I could throw it better the first quarter, but then Tennessee really turned it on, and I was impressed with him after that. So.
Well, I thought Alabama had their best offensive game in a decade.
Right, you're probably right.
In the Saban era.
Right.
I think that's the best offense they've had since Saban's been there.
Right.
All right, Georgia is hosting Vandy.
Georgia. They beat UMass. Who else did they beat?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Georgia.
I'd go with Georgia myself. Kentucky is hosting South Carolina.
I picked against South Carolina.
Kentucky, it's about time for them to win an SEC ball game.
Yeah.
They beat Vandy last week, I think.
Right, okay. I'm going to go South Carolina.
Lost to Florida in overtime.
Right.
I'm going to go with South Carolina.
I'm going to go with South Carolina.
All right, because it's getting too close to round ball season up there.
Right, Missouri's open. I think I had Missouri last week.
Missouri is open this week. Okay. Well, that pretty much is the rundown of the SEC, and I'm sure everybody around here is aware last night that Oregon took it on.
Oregon got beaten. Now, that was a late game, so I didn't actually watch that game, but, I was happy to see the result.
I knew I was going to have to stay up late tonight, so I tried to stay up late last night, and I watched it. So I missed part of the first quarter while I was asleep.
I got
then
you.
I woke up and caught the rest of it. But, Oregon didn't look that good to me. But anyway,
well, maybe Notre Dame will lose tomorrow and a few more of those schools.
Yeah. And, I'll bet you there's people all over the nation right now saying, I hope Ole Miss beats Alabama.
Yeah, they are.
And LSU beats Auburn. But,
here's for hoping, people, because it's not going to happen.
Well, okay. Glad to have you with us again tonight on Beyond the Scoreboard. I hope you've enjoyed the program and that you'll get out and support your local high school football teams in the coming weeks, and also the bands and cheerleaders and
cross-country runners run tomorrow at Oakville. Big cross-country meet, 400 runners in each division, 4,000 runners total right down the road in Danville. So go out and watch your cross-country runners run.
Our schools are preparing the leaders of tomorrow, so
right.
if you would, go out and support them. And good night. Have a good weekend.